Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're live. At least it looks like we're live. Welcome to the very first episode of Black Game Pro Sessions. I can't tell you how good it feels to be back. Not that I've been gone, but I've been busy living. For all of you people that are tuning in, I appreciate you. I've seen more than 200 people click on register, and I truly appreciate what we're trying to build, that you are supporting what we're trying to build here. And I hope you enjoyed this very first episode. Now, for those who don't know me, my name's Leon. I've been in the industry for almost 20 years, from running local marketing and PR campaigns to producing Ubisoft's global presence at events like E3, Gamescom, GDC, and more recently, Ubisoft Forward. A few years ago, a few colleagues of mine and I created the Black Game Pros Initiative to spotlight and celebrate the incredible people of color shaping our industry, and to inspire the next generation by showing them what is possible. Now, that initiative went on pause for a little while, but I felt the need to bring it back in a new way. And here we are, Black Game Pro Sessions, a live series dedicated to amplifying Black voices in gaming and entertainment, and sharing the stories that deserve a bigger stage. Now, enough about me, and enough about the origin story. We can chat about that more later in the chat if you wish. Let's get to why we are here. Our first guest embodies everything this series stands for: authentic leadership, meaningful impact, and the power of representation in gaming. He was born in Kenya, with roots in New York through his mother and Uganda through his dad. Dude has carried a global perspective through every role he's had, from student body president at Occidental College to the boardrooms of the biggest players in tech. Now listen, he shipped over 100 games. He launched the Black Gaming Creator Program at Facebook, and up until May, he shaped global partnerships as vice president at Xbox, before losing his job to AI. We'll talk more about that later. Now, more recently, he started his own media empire, the Olebe Media Group, OMG, while at the same time serving as chairman of the board of Games for Change, proving that games can be a force for real social impact. From BioWare to Facebook, from YouTube to Xbox, he hasn't just witnessed the evolution of the industry, he's helped drive it. So please, fellow Black Game Pros, join me in welcoming the one and only Leo Olebe. And adding him to the stage, here he is.
Hello, hello, hello. Dude, that was just an amazing introduction. Thank you.
Should I switch off the background music, or should I keep it playing? What do you think?
I don't know. It's like a vibe, right?
It's a vibe, right?
Well,
we'll see. We'll see.
It keeps the audience happy. Let's keep it. I love it. Congratulations. This is an amazing platform, and you are absolutely incredible for making this happen and giving people the opportunity to have a voice and share their voice in this industry. So first off, just huge thank you.
And I appreciate you for being my first guest in this little personal experiment of mine, little passion project. And I think, thinking back, I think the last time I saw you in person, because I missed you at Gamescom this year because I couldn't make it, was last year in LA.
Yeah.
During Ubisoft Forward, where you were sitting front row seat next to Yves, the CEO of Ubisoft. And I looked at you and was like, oh my God, look at him.
That was amazing. That was like, I had no idea. It was such an honor. I was like, what's going on? It's like, there's Yves in the middle, and then I'm sitting there. And then on his right-hand side is the current CEO of Sony. So it was like, what's happening? And then all of our friends are in the room and we're celebrating games. Like it was a magical moment for sure. So much fun. That's what this industry is all about. It's just like, how do you have it?
It is, and it looked great on you. There's a great picture taken of you next to Yves, front row, looking all amazing in your Xbox jacket. That was an amazing jacket.
Yeah, that was a whole lot of. I forgot about the jacket. That's right. We had the jackets from we had just come off a showcase. That was hella dope.
Our industry has the best swag. Just putting it out there.
100%. Yes, I am surrounded. I'm surrounded by amazing swag. Speaking of which, you didn't know about this, but I'm like, you might as well, because hey, our toys.
I love that. Since since this is a tiny apartment here in Holland that I'm sharing with my girlfriend, with my partner. I had to remove all my gaming things to my Paris little apartment. So this is more
There you go.
books and stuff. But I love. I mean, I have so many figurines. That's the thing. After working in the industry for so long, you collect a proper amount of goodies and swag.
Oh yes, absolutely. It's the best. I mean, it's just a wonderful industry. So listen, I'm just happy to be here. Happy to share our passion for games, our passion for people, our passion for leadership. With as many folks as possible. Like if we can create opportunities even for one person, then I feel like we're doing the right thing.
And I couldn't agree with you more. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to, dust this back off and bring it back to life. I mean, I missed this. I mean, sometimes life be lifing, but here we are. All right, so let's get the show on the road. Let's get the people what they want. I thought starting with a little warm up, quick speed run, rapid fire, short answer kind of type questions. Just answer the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
No wrong answers.
Perfect.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You're ready. All right, let's go. 100%. All right. I think the first one's going to be an easy one for you. Xbox, PlayStation, or Nintendo?
Of course, I'm going to say Xbox, right?
Yeah.
But you said the first thing comes to mind, Xbox, because that's what I'm jamming on, playing on all the time, get my game on. But I've got everything. And I play everything, and I think it's important for everybody to do so. So sorry, speed round.
Yep. Right. No, it's good. It's good. We can vibe. It's there's no rules. There's no boss watching us being like, no, you should move on.
Then can we also say what's up to everybody in the chat? Because the chat's blowing up. It's really good. I see y'all down there. Hello.
I appreciate everybody watching. I can't really watch the chat. I'm trying to multitask. This is a one-man army for now. We might be able to expand. People watching, if you want to help, let us know. We're here.
Dude, when I was at YouTube, so I was a global head of gaming at YouTube, and so I wanted to live the life, and so I would stream, and if anybody wants to try to find my YouTube channel, go for it. There's a lot of streams there. The hardest thing is always watching chat, and you're like trying to play, and like people are well, I should say I would get like one person in the chat, maybe two, like on a good day, and it's like my kids or something. But that being said, it's impossible to pay attention to both and run stuff. So sorry, I will stop.
No. It's a conversation. It's a session. We're not here to follow the rules. We're here to make them as we go. Next question though, rapid fire indeed. Are you a coffee or a tea kind of guy?
Coffee.
All right. Favorite game franchise of all time?
Bro, that's a doozy. Okay, I'm going to give multiple answers to this question. I'm going to give three.
Only one. Only
one?
You have to pick one.
I'm always going to say Star Wars.
Okay.
You said pick one.
No. Okay. All good. All right. Moving on.
My kids call me Vader. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, you have a tattoo as well, right?
I do. Yeah. For those of you who haven't seen it, there's my Darth Vader tattoo, and it says Andrea, Anthony, Adrian, Alicia. So my wife, my family. This is my family.
I love that. So
it's Star Wars. We gotta go. Star. And my dog's name is Chewbacca. He might make an appearance.
Oh my God, Chewie.
Yes, Chewie.
What type of dog is it? Sorry, we're going completely off rails here, but
it's all good. He's like, I call him a giant husky. He's 90% husky, 5% Malamute, and 5% German Shepherd. He's massive. He like on his when he stands up, he can put his paws on my shoulder. So from feet to ears, he's 5'10".
Wow, it's a proper guard dog.
Oh yeah, but he's all love. He's all poof and floof and everything. And like people get freaked out, but I'm like, you don't even understand. Chewie just wants to play and have a good time.
Okay. All right. Oh, I love that. I love dogs. Anywho, all right. A song you could listen to every day.
Let Me In Ear by the DOC.
Ooh, okay. All right. Favorite city you've worked in so far?
Favorite city I've worked in.
Yep.
Ooh. I might surprise people with these are amazing. You said fast. First thing came to mind was Austin.
There you go.
Although I'd shout out LA though.
Yeah, don't worry. I know there's some people in LA watching. Don't worry. There's no hate towards LA. We love everyone. Don't worry. It's all good. It's the first thing that comes to mind, kind of thing. And
Yes.
Austin is pretty
Okay.
good. I mean, I've been there for South by, and the barbecue was amazing. So.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Are you an early bird or a night owl?
Both.
You're both. You're just always energized.
Always.
Love it. All right.
Why sleep
Best
when
game-
you can game?
Oh.
Why sleep when you can game?
Fair enough. I mean, I do prefer sleep. I must say, yes. I'm sorry. Yeah, I like sleep over games, but I must say there was one game this year that kept me up. But we might go into that for the next question. Best game of 2025 so far.
For me, it's Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Well, thank you very much.
You bet, dude. I'm 324 hours in.
Wow. Okay. That's impressive. I definitely
talk
did not
about it.
spend that much time on that game. For me, it's Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I was
Okay,
amazed.
that's dope.
That was an amazing one.
Absolutely. And there were a lot of great games this year and a lot of things
course.
that I've played. Gosh, maybe I've got 1,000 hours in Balatro. I have no idea. So we could. It's not 1,000 hours, but
You're the
I'm
still
doing my
though.
best.
No, it's all good. You're the real deal. I like that. All right. We're almost there. Food folks can wake you up for.
Food, folks
Yeah.
can wake me up for. I'm gonna just do pizza.
Perfect. Pizza. I love pizza. Who doesn't love pizza? Next one is probably an easy one for you. Best movie ever, but it can't be Star Wars.
Bruce Lee, Dragon. Actually, it's called Dragon: The Bruce Lee Story.
Yeah.
And if anybody hasn't seen that, they need to see that movie right now because it's amazing. I love martial arts.
Love martial arts too. All right. First game you remember playing as a kid?
I would say first game I remember playing as a kid. I'm gonna give you a long answer for this one just because I have to. Probably the very first one that jumps in my brain is like Archon. If anybody ever played Archon, there's Prince Persia. I played a lot of like Mac 512 games. Other games that all mashed together. So I'm gonna say this all counts as like one first game would be like King's Quest, Space Quest, Police Quest. So like Pirates of Pestilon, but then also the Apple IIe stuff, right? So like while I was in school, we were playing Oregon Trail on the Apple IIe. I could go on and on, but like those are all great.
I agree, even though that kind of dates both of us in regards to age. But yes, these are great games. These are great games. All right, are you feeling warmed up?
I'm ready to rock and roll. This is great.
The vocal cords are good. All right, so let's dive into the real part of it, the real meat of this kind of session, this interview. Because I want to start with your roots, your mentors, because as I look at your journey from those early days leading at some of the biggest tech companies in the world, I'm really curious about the people who shaped you, your upbringing. Can you take me back to those early days in Kenya and what it was like moving to the States? I don't know how old you were, but can you take me back to that moment?
I can. So I was actually super young. So I was born in Nairobi, Kenya. My father, born and raised in Tororo, Uganda, in my tribe to this day, still lives in the bush with no running water, no electricity, and mud huts about 45 minutes west of Tororo. So if anybody wants to find that, they can. My mom and dad met. My mom was in the second class of the Peace Corps, and my dad went to a university that's well known, Stanford University. So after I was born, a couple years later, we moved to the States when I was a kid. I think the first part of the answer to your question has got to start, with my parents, right? And who they are, how they've approached the world, how they've really talked about be a good citizen on this planet, emphasize the importance of education and hard work. And so like that's where it all starts. And if you think about it, like, and maybe this sounds a little cheesy, but that's what you get with me. My dad literally came from nothing in nowhere. And a lot of people have that story. And so, I'm just trying to do the best job that I can to of course make them proud, but also show, especially to the purpose and point of this conversation that anything is possible. and there's a lot of hard stuff, and I'm sure we'll talk about the hard stuff and the tough stuff and like the problems and the challenges and everything. But like, that's the inspirational start of this journey, which is, if the impact and influence that a parent can have in kind of teaching their kids that, if you work hard and you put your mind to something and you have a steadfast approach and a sense of positivity and belonging, then you can make stuff happen.
I couldn't agree with you more. Beside the parent part, did you also have someone, even though I understand that indeed that's a very strong foundation to have, seeing your parents come from nothing and make it into something?
Yep.
From a business perspective, or did you have any mentors or someone that you looked up to growing up?
Many. Okay.
Many.
So, oh yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting. So you said when I was growing up. So there's multiple parts to this story, right? So there's the when I'm growing up part, and I'll talk about that. I'll talk about it in maybe a slightly different direction, because it wasn't actually business mentors as much as it was people in society doing different things and like impactful moments, right? So the first concert that I ever went to was Paul Simon concert, and it was with Ladysmith Black Mambazo, and it was incredible. But it also had Miriam Makeba. And for anybody who's watching, Miriam Makeba she is an absolutely incredible South African singer who sang the song called "Bring Back Nelson Mandela." And
yes,
I'm not going to sing it for you now, but
okay.
The idea that through art and language and communication, you can fight to change the world around you. It in a certain sense, for me, it started at that concert. So when you talk about like what are the influences, you mentioned from a business perspective, but I'm going to say it was me learning about Martin Luther King. It was me learning about Malcolm X. It was learning about poets and writers and authors and people trying to leverage their voice to make a better world around them. And I would add, my inspiration and my competition has always been my brother, who is extraordinarily successful in his own right. But like, man, we used to compare our report cards side by side, teacher by teacher, minute by minute. He's 2 years older than me, but like, there's inspirations all over the place. But I feel like there's all of the musical inspirations as well, but there's a lot of touch points kind of throughout my life, I think, that have contributed to this general idea that just try to make this world a better place. Really that simple.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, that's what it's all about, right? That's the impact that we can have as a human being, trying to do our best to make the world a better place.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. So those are some of the inspirations, kind of like as I was going on. The reason why I don't have a specific like business, we could talk about like a book like Andy Grove, it wrote, I don't know, I'm going to sound like a fool when I try to remember all of these things, but
please,
they wrote a book, what is it? Only the Paranoid Survive. Is that the right one? Am I getting this right? I think. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm mixing metaphors and authors. But so what my point is, there are things that I've read and things that I've experienced that have absolutely shaped me. What I would say is that I've always just been a lover of games, comic books, movies, and I thought they were cool, right? So my inspiration was The Thing from Marvel. My inspiration was, it was Batman, right? It was various characters. It was Wonder Woman. It was all of the folks. And it wasn't until I was in business school when I first met a guy named Jamie Berger, who is now, I think he's an SVP of global publishing at Scopely, that I even knew it was possible to have a job in the video games industry. And so Jamie was literally the first person that I met almost 26 years ago. Who was like, oh, by the way, you can actually work in games, and let me tell you about it.
That reminds me of the story that I told you just before we started the stream. me doing research when I was still hosting my TV show out here in the Netherlands and reading this interview with this brother working in events and video games in the States, which opened an entire like world of opportunities for me, which before that I didn't even know it was a possibility. Can you work in games and events? Like, wow.
What is this thing?
Yeah, right? What is this magic?
There you go.
Right. So moving on to, I mean, it's kind of in continuation of what you already said. I mean, looking at those early lessons that you mentioned from all these different inspirations you had, how do those early lessons show up in your leader style today? I mean, when you're in those boardrooms at Microsoft, Google, or your own company, how are you channeling some of what they gave you?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I love it. Okay, so, and for anybody who knows me knows that I'm always like heart on my sleeve, try to like give the real. So that's a really fun question, and nobody's asked me about it that way before. So sometimes you bring a little bit of Malcolm, by any means necessary. Sometimes you bring a little bit of Martin, you know, and you're building bridges and bonds and extraordinarily passionate about something. Sometimes you bring your boardroom influences, your business school professors, your people who've taught you. I think it's a mixture of everything, and it all comes together in terms of trying. I'm gonna say this maybe 50 more times, but like at the end of the day, when I think about impact in this world, an opportunity for people, an opportunity to help game companies be successful, to execute a creative vision, to build an incredible business, whatever it is, every single, I have a feeling, and maybe there's some that don't work, but like every instance of success involves helping. Every instance of success. And none of us can do it alone. And we actually have a greater opportunity to have this impact in this world if we're helping other folks. And so if you're like, how do you distill all this stuff? How does it show up? It shows up into that very, like, to me, simple concept and idea of like, how can I help? You know, it could be, how can I help get your game published? It could be, how can I help build a community? It could be, how can I help you in your career? How can I help you connect to these other folks? Like, understanding that, guess what? We all need help. It takes a village is a very real thing. I think that's how all this stuff gets put together for me. And I totally lost track of the original question, but I hope I nailed it. I don't know. We will see.
I think, you know, give or take, we got to the answer. It's all good.
We got.
I mean, it's all good. I mean,
that's so good. That's so good. Yeah, people were like, there's somebody who actually remembers Ladies from Black Mambazo in the chat. That's hella dope. There you go, Daryl. What's up?
There you go. Before stepping in those big jobs, though, you went through Occidental College and had other formative experiences. Looking back, and I think there's also a question that a lot of people that might be watching have, how much of your success do you credit to your education? Was it the degree itself, the network, the experiences around it? What proved most valuable for you?
All of it, all of the above. 100% of my success is because of the education I've had the opportunity to receive. And that's we'll talk about Occidental College. I have a kind of a funny story for you, but like it could be education from meeting and talking to people and absorbing information and experiences from folks who are around you. That's part of it. It's also the very specific classroom learning of understanding how the world works, of diving into different cultures and personalities and complex situations. You know, I was a double major in public policy and politics, so that's where a lot of my education comes from in those fields. But like, I wasn't the best math student. I've never even taken calculus, but like, I love math and I do a lot of math, and it's really, really important and foundational. You know, I wasn't the best person in biology, but I did some of that. I know enough to be dangerous in things like chemistry, but like every single thing adds another component to who you are and how you understand the world around you. So I would say 100% of who I am and what I learn and what I know really comes from the idea that the world is educating you all of the time. And it's your job to listen and to pay attention and to absorb that learning and then make of it what you will. Now, on the Occidental College front, the funny story that I will share. So I was a student body president at Occidental College. I was in every club. I'm a joiner, as you could well imagine. I was in residence council, student body president. I founded like 6 clubs. I was in every club.
Wow.
Asian Pacific Islander Club, I'm in it. Jewish Student Club, I'm in it. Black Student Alliance, I'm in it. Like, you name it, I join it. And like, there we go. Like, it's awesome. And we're all on this planet together, so let's make it a better place together. It's kind of my fundamental philosophy. Now, on the day that I was elected student body president, I believe maybe the second ever Black student body president, a guy named Don Cornwell, who's amazing. Anybody should look him up. He's absolutely incredible. He was receiving an alumni award at this big event at the college, and as like alumni of the year. And he was a trustee at the time. And then after that, they introduced me, and my parents were in the audience, and they said, let's introduce Leo Olebe, the new student body president of Occidental College. As I get up to walk to the stage, my then girlfriend, now wife, whispers in my ear, "We're fighting for multiculturalism. We're taking over the administration building. Are you in?" So I walk up the aisle, and my speech was exactly this. There were tumultuous times in 1969. There are now tumultuous times in 1996. Fighting for multiculturalism is incredibly important. I'll see you in the administration building. Dropped the mic, walked out of the room. My parents were like, "What are you doing?" We locked ourselves in the administration building for 3 days. Fighting for students. Yeah. And then the crazy end of this story is, fast forward 20 years, I'm now a trustee at Occidental College. I'm on the board.
Full circle, right?
Yeah. So has it been important and meaningful in my life? Absolutely. It's a crazy story for everybody watching.
I love that. I mean, for the record, I definitely wasn't that person. I was more of a, there's this Dutch saying, if you're like average, you're good enough kind of thing. I aimed to pass, that was my thing. And after that, I was like, let me do my own thing. And
there you go.
Make my way to where I am now.
I love stuff. I think I got a B on everything. Literally,
that's better than believe me.
They would be like, "Hey Leo, we're writing an essay about cats," and I'd be like, "Well, cats are cool, but my essay is about dogs." And they'd be like, "Great essay." Yeah, all the time. But anyway, fun stuff. Yeah. So yeah, education, Occidental College, very, very pivotal for me. I think that in today's world, a liberal arts education, a way to figure out how do you ask great questions, how do you approach people with a positive attitude, how do you just stay very, very curious is incredibly important.
Amen. You never stop learning.
That's right.
Now with all this foundation that you have,
yes,
you have your influencers, your inspirations, your education, stepping into your first real job. What was your first real job, and how did it feel to suddenly be the one that had to prove himself? Take me back to that first day. What was running through your mind?
So my first real job in games, or my first job? I
think after college. Did you end up in gaming right away? Okay. What happened?
Because I always have complicated answers. Because the first job I ever had was a paperboy. So for anybody who's watching and knows what a paperboy is,
yep, been there, done that.
We can go there. That video game you saw, yeah, that's a real thing. Anyway, so the first job after college, I was actually a management consultant. So I that same gentleman, Don, flew me to New York to go do an internet job. And I got there and I wound up having an interview at a consulting firm that was a McKinsey spinoff. And so it was a bunch of MIT electrical engineers and computer scientists that were their business analysts. And I was like the weird politics and public policy guy. But I got the job because I'm like a computer nerd, and I was doing building access databases and Excel spreadsheets, doing plant optimization for all sorts of interesting things. That was my first job out of college, was as a management consultant. And it was fun. I mean, literally, it was an opportunity to learn, and it was an opportunity to go to places that most folks have never been. Gosh, nobody ever asked me about my first job. I actually, as a business analyst, I went to Lapeer, Michigan, that nobody's ever been to. I went to a Vlasic pickle factories and learned about. Do you know that they cut pickles with pickle lasers? Story for another day. But it's with water lasers that are made out of water. So it's like a water laser. That's how they cut pickles, and then they put it in a jar. Like the entire manufacturing process of pickles, I could talk about it for probably hours. I also went to
the next session. The next session will go deep into pickles.
Exactly, deep, like all about the pickles. I even went to like pet food factories. I was in Godiva chocolate, like manufacturing facilities, places where they make frozen soup, like all sorts of stuff. So I did a lot of like manufacturing things. First job ever.
Wow.
Out of college.
And first job in gaming.
First job in gaming. So I mentioned Jamie Berger earlier.
Yep.
So I was getting my MBA at USC, and I wanted to go back into consulting, and I was in the final rounds of Bain, Booz, BCG, Anderson, like all the big five, nailed it. I would get to the final round interview, and they'd be like, "So Leo, why do you want to be a consultant?" And I would say, "Because I want to change the world, and it's awesome to help people improve their businesses, and it's exciting and amazing and wonderful." And they'd be like, "I don't think you're exactly the right fit for our organization." So I was devastated. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what am I going to do?" Excuse me, sorry. And so I went back, and true story, I went to the Career Center at USC. I took a test, and the test said, "You should think about marketing." I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then the next day, I saw that Disney Consumer Products was coming to campus to interview people. I signed up. I got accepted in to go like have a chat. I walked into the room, and that dude, Jamie Berger, is there. Jamie's heard me tell this story many times, and he's sitting there, and it was a Disney Consumer Products interview. And he goes, "Hi, I'm Jamie." I'm like, "Hi, I'm Jamie. I'm Leo." Like, you know, I'm all nervous and all that kind of stuff. And he goes, "Do you like games?" And I'm like,
"Do I?"
"Bro, tell me more. Tell me more." And he's like, "Well, actually, we've got a job to be a summer intern working on Game Boy Advance games for Disney Interactive. I don't know if you're into that kind of stuff." And I'm like, wow, shut the front door. Mm-hmm. And literally from that moment on, I was a full-time MBA student. I went to work at Disney Interactive and worked on Peter Pan and Return to Neverland on the Game Boy Advance. Was my very first game. I worked on Buzz Lightyear games. I worked on all sorts of Pixar games. I actually worked on Treasure Planet games that built like the space simulations. I worked on Tron 2.0. Once I got in, I never left. My entire second year, I was a full-time student and a full-time employee. So my internship ended. They said, "Hey, you can keep working." I was like, "Great." So I would go to work from like 8 a.m. until 4, and then I would drive across town and go to class all night to finish my MBA. So first job, Disney Interactive.
That's dedication, man. And I think that dedication probably also led the fact that you've had this remarkable journey across all kinds of tech giants. And sometimes you've even decided yourself to move from one company to another. Sometimes the decision was made for you.
It sure was.
Yeah. How do you approach that? And how do you approach it then when you have to start in a new environment, all fresh? How do you thrive? Not just survive.
Yes, that's incredibly important. And that again, it's a great way to ask the question. So yeah, anybody who goes and looks at my LinkedIn can see I've worked at probably 18 or 19 now different companies in my 26-year career. I call it 26 because my first conversation with Jamie was about 26 years ago. By the math, maybe it's 25. I'm not exactly sure. But in my mind, I'm working on my 26th year. How about
exactly?
That?
There you go.
Working on
there
it.
You go.
Working on it. Still making things happen. But like the answer is follow your heart. And I know, and it's super cheesy and super crazy to say, but like, if you're passionate about what you do, and you're working with people who are passionate about what they do, you can find joy someplace. And not every game is going to be the best game. Not every place is going to be the best place to work. There's going to be tough moments and tough situations. But like the question was about like, well, how do you show up and how do you make the magic happen? And how do you turn whatever this next thing is going to be into something? The answer is you throw yourself into it. You go with your gut. I've had moments where I didn't like the direction of the company. I was asking tough questions about what was happening, and I bounced. Like, I'm out. I'm going to go pursue another opportunity. I've been fired multiple times. Have I been fired multiple? I've been fired once for the color of my skin, believe it or not. I've been fired because we've ran out of money. Hey, thanks a lot, everybody. Like game over, plan. I've been laid off a couple of times. Like, but you just kind of keep going. And if you hold your heart in your hands, and I love games. I love games. You'll find a way.
Mm-hmm. You've been fired because of the color of your skin?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Hey, but you know, stuff happens. Keep moving forward.
Oh yeah.
Good friend of mine, Bryce, he has this great quote that I love to use, which is like, keep throwing punches.
Yep.
It may be hard. You may not know what to do. You may be stuck. You may be overwhelmed. Any of those things, keep throwing those punches. Keep throwing. You just keep going. Keep moving forward. And you'll be all right.
There's no stopping, right? I mean, if you don't do it, nobody else will. At least that's in my opinion. You have to go for it yourself.
That's right. You know, and you find allies along the way. We talked about the importance of helping people. You know, at every twist and turn from that very first moment when I talked to Jamie, I've had people helping me and people that I could rely on. That's why your question about mentorship is so important. There's a whole nother thing about sponsorship as well. Like you can get all the mentors in the world, but you also need a sponsor who's going to help you out, who's going to help move your career forward. Like find those people too. But I mean, I would be nowhere without people like you, without people like Jamie, without people like Bryce, without people like Cammie and Javon and everybody in the chat. I can go through and see Aces out there, like Alice, what's up? I see all y'all. But like seriously, it's all of those people that create impact, drive opportunities, give you feedback on how to improve, and open doors.
So your network truly is your net worth.
100%. And I would say I learned that lesson very directly. And sorry if I'm jumping around all over the place and I'm stealing questions for later.
It's all good.
But like, I'll say it generically, and then we can get more specific if we want to. At one point, I was laid off from a $1 trillion company, and devastating. Been laid off multiple times. Just happened recently. It was my network and my friend group that helped me persist. Within 24 hours of sending some emails and making some calls, created opportunity that turned into my next job.
Wow.
Like, and the amount of support that comes out of nowhere is incredible. So that one person, this goes back to the helping idea, that one person that you helped, that moment when you put yourself out there and you said, hey, in a selfless way, I'm really going to ask, how can I be of service today? It was those people that I hadn't spoken to in 13 years that was like, yo, let me help you out. Yeah. I'm like, I haven't even talked. Like, one, you're still my best friend. Love it. But two, we haven't talked in 13, 14, 15, 16 years, whatever. Like that's why giving back is so important, because you never know when you're going to need it. Like we all, my good friend of mine, who hopefully you know and you should bring on the show as well, Jessica Murray, who does Wicked State Studio. She used to be, and I think she still is, somebody who works on peace and conflict resolution, right? Oof. And she has this saying that I've adopted. I'm sure she got it from someplace else, but she made this thing ring true to me. And she said, it's much easier to create a connection with somebody with an open hand versus a pointed finger.
Amen. You're dropping knowledge bombs here.
True. So you never know when those people are going to show up, right? Be of service, and guess what? When you need it, you'll get help too.
All right. Okay.
Sorry,
but
long
then,
answer.
No. I love it actually. I mean, but then maybe some of the people watching, they might not have that network. They might not know these kind of people that can do these kind of things. Yeah. Where do they start? Is LinkedIn? I mean, we're streaming on LinkedIn now. Is that the phase where you start?
It's part of it. It's part of the journey. You know, I think so I'm going to do a lot of name dropping today, and I think it goes to the idea of it takes a village, and because of the nature of this conversation, it occurred to me, and I have stories for days about this, that all of those people that you interact with and communicate with, they leave a mark and an imprint, and there is something to learn from every single conversation. And so on this LinkedIn point and how do you grow your network stuff in particular, I was lucky enough on my very first day at Disney Interactive. This goes back to the very first job. My cube mate, so the person in the cube next to me, is this incredible woman named Nicole Bradford. Mm-hmm. And there are people in the chat who know Nicole. Nicole is awesome and amazing. And Nicole was at Wharton, super incredible, intelligent, amazing, awesome, wonderful. Was not even in LA to get exposed to gaming opportunities. And she had this great, and Nicole can tell you all about how to do this. I'm just stealing her thunder here. But she talked about how you can call people up and schedule time. She had like this list, and I think she called like 500 different people in the games industry, or 100 different, and said, hey, can I talk with you for 15 minutes? Mm-hmm. To get a moment of your time. It was just a way to instantly start networking. So LinkedIn is a part of it. It's about reaching out. It's about trying to create more connections with people, and to be of service as well. So making yourself available to others, like that's a piece. The other piece is just see somebody, have a conversation. I've gone to a lot of different events. I was telling somebody earlier today about a friend of mine, Yuri, who's the CEO of Overwolf. I was like, oh, I know that company there, and he's amazing and awesome, and their company is amazing and awesome. They do all sorts of incredible things. I just went to some random party at Gamescom 16, 17 years ago, where two nerds hanging out. Like, I married the first girl who ever talked to me, right? And we've been now married for 24 years. And I'm like, I don't have any business being in some like a party. I don't even know what a party is. I don't know what's happening. So you and I are just rapping, and he's like super interesting guy. Been friends ever since. Now, do we talk every day? No. But in that moment, there's another person having an experience. We were able to connect, and it was that connection in that moment that has yielded things for a long time. So there's lots of stories that I have like that throughout my career. So I talked about like learning from Nicole from the jump about how to meet people and communicate and be thoughtful. I've learned things from so many different people throughout my career. And so that's what I would encourage everybody watching to do. It's like, don't be afraid to reach out. Like, we're all scared. We are all scared. Find your tribe.
Yeah.
Maybe be scared together. That's okay too. And guess what? Sometimes it'll be tough. Sometimes it won't be though.
I think that's a good transition into the next question regarding imposter syndrome. Even me in the industry for almost 20 years still have that feeling every now and then. Even though you do at a certain point in time, I think you get that feeling like you stop pretending to belong and actually belong.
Yep.
When did that shift happen for you? Because you seem very comfortable in what you're doing.
I'm comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah,
is the answer. I'm not sure we ever lose it, and maybe there's a way to take the idea of imposter syndrome and turn it into a superpower. I don't know. I still feel it all the time. Every conversation, even right now. Who am I? Sure, I've been in the games industry for a while, but like, am I really the right person to be having this conversation? Do I really have anything powerful and positive to share with people? I don't know, but like, you show up, you keep going, you keep moving. I confront it consistently. I'll say it this way. I was in an interview for something just yesterday and trying to operate at a level that I've never operated at before. And every single second of that was a feeling of a challenge and do I belong? And then you kind of remember, wait, I'm in the room. I do belong. I do have value. I do have the opportunity to participate successfully. But how do you link to the conversation?
Sorry to interrupt.
No, go for it.
You actually, because you've spoken a lot about this in like public and interviews and keynotes, that indeed that you are often one of the only ones, or the only one in these boardrooms that looks like you. And I can definitely relate to that. I've been there.
Yes.
What is a challenge that people might not expect from being the only person, but also on the flip side, what opportunities open up because of that?
The challenge is even the challenge is even if you know that you have something to say and that you have a voice, an idea, an opinion, the challenge is finding the courage to speak up and let those things be heard. And what I think I've realized is that not only do I have the job to be an ally, there are allies everywhere. And that kind of goes back to it takes a village general concept. But the challenge is, how do I find my voice? How do I let people know who I am? How do I make a positive contribution? I think oftentimes people silence themselves. I've definitely have before. And so you've got to, figure out a way to keep pushing forward. That's the first part. And then I think the second part was about actually give me the second part again. I don't want to mess it up.
So the second part is the flip side. What opportunities opened up?
I would say I'm an opportunity guy.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'll give a mildly generic answer, but I think the opportunities that opened up are a result of knowing, even after that first hard thing, that you can do it and you'll find a way. Right. So,
Yep.
I've been deeply fortunate to have incredible opportunities open up on my behalf. I've had to fight from nothing. I've had to fight from something. I've been all over the place, but I think if you learn anything, it's that it's okay to persevere. And when you persevere, opportunity is right around the corner.
Yeah. Agreed. You just need to keep on going.
That's right. Goes back to keep throwing punches.
Exactly.
And that's we all face roadblocks. We all face bumps in the road. I think I even wrote a LinkedIn post about this one of these days. It happens. I'm living through one right now, from a career perspective, right? Always from a life perspective. And
let's dive into that actually, because
totally.
You were vice president global partnerships with Microsoft, and then AI, second time.
That's right.
What happened?
That's right. You're looking at the 2-time winner of the $1 trillion company layoff thanks to AI lottery. So I got laid off at YouTube. I was the global head of gaming, and AI reared its ugly head. Let's go, GG, let's go. And then, I was at Xbox for just over a year, probably 14 months or so. Same thing, laid off. But thanks AI. It is what it is. I think that the maybe potentially controversial thing I'll say, maybe it's not even controversial thing at all, is that even after having been laid off twice in the last 20 months because of this, I'm extraordinarily bullish. I think AI is a force multiplier. I think that there are great opportunities to be had. We're still figuring it out or whatever that's going to be, but so listen, for anybody who's listening or watching, you'll get through it. You'll find a way. I don't even know if that was the question or that's what you wanted me to talk about.
I love that. I mean, I kind of was already kind of, you're really going with the exact flow that I had in mind, which is great. Losing your job, even though you started your own media company, which is great. I mean, it's already having a job as vice president can be extremely stressful. Losing your job, even more stressful. So starting your own company, another level. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with that stress? How do you unwind? What's your secret? There you go.
That's the answer. I play as many video games as possible.
Okay.
And then I doom scroll LinkedIn at midnight and apply to random jobs. So if you find me as a chef at a hotel in Botswana, now you know. We just get by. We do what we can. I think that's what everybody's doing. That's what I do. I try to stay focused and I try a bunch of stuff. And I for those who have even looked at my random LinkedIn posts, and if I'm stealing from something later, because I think this all kind of jives together. And maybe this sounds like a little bit of self-promotion post or something. It's not. It's just hey, it's the answer to the question of how do you keep going? You try different stuff and you keep learning. So I did after that, the day after I got laid off, I started the Olebe Media Group, OMG. I signed up for a course, a 6-week course in AI and business leadership from MIT. I just finished. Hopefully I'll get my certificate in the next couple of days. I went to lovable.dev and I spent 20, 30, 40 hours or whatever, like doing vibe coding and figuring all that kind of stuff and understanding how Google Cloud works and Google Ads and like all the backend stuff. If anybody wants to talk about Supabase and what a secret key is, I don't know any more than that sentence, but like we could talk about it. So like you dive into new things. So I created like a website, and then even like 2 weekends ago, I went and created a course on Udemy because I was like, hey, why not? Like this is gonna be cool. So like I do this thing called Team Soundtrack. But I keep trying different things, and some will work, some won't work. But like if we're not learning, we're not growing.
I mean, 100% agree. I mean,
sorry, I got all excited. Hopefully,
no, I know, but I love that. I mean, please do get excited. The people want to see your excitement, Leo. Come on now. 2 of us excited. Leo and Leon, dynamic duo.
Hell
Both
yeah!
excited. Love
I'm always an 11 on like a 10-point scale. People who know me know that. So like,
you cannot be as hype as Hip Hop Gamer though.
No. He takes it to another.
Dude,
That's like a level 26.
I need to have him on this stream, but that's a different conversation.
Yes.
I want to speak on Games for Change. I mean, because your current work as the chairman at Games for Change is at an amazing intersection of gaming and social impact. What is one project right now that showed you the transformative potential of video games that makes you excited?
You asked for one. I think that there are many. And I'll give generic examples because I think that what's so exciting to me is the breadth of what people are doing. And so for people who are watching and tuning in, Games for Change is all about how do you create positive change through interactive media. That could show up as a network of surgeons who play games in order to improve their capability to do sutures. And then there's all these scientific studies that say, oh my gosh, if you actually play a video game and practice sutures, your sutures are better and your surgeries are more successful and you have better healing rates. It could be that to a guy named Adam Ghazali who has a game that can be prescribed to help treat ADHD.
Wow.
There are VR games that take you into the mind and experience of somebody who has schizophrenia. Mm-hmm. There are games about the ocean. There are games about the planet. There are games that talk about how can we improve access to water. How can we help people around the world find food and make it so as hopefully as many people as possible don't have to go hungry. There are so many distinct. There are games about like how do I just become an engineer? How do I become a better artist? Like what can I do? Like there's almost too many to talk about. There are gaming programs. I see Gordon was in the chat. There's a BIPOC gaming conference that's coming up at the Strong Museum of Play. I'm a trustee at the Strong as well. But like, there are so many ways that we can create opportunities for other people. And Games for Change just tries to build a platform and do things for that. We have a program, several programs at Games for Change that keeps kids how to make games. We teach them about STEM. We partner with all sorts of different organizations. Oh my gosh, my brain has literally disappeared right now. But like Global Game Jam, like, how do we put on as many global game jams as possible to get people to come together and make games, right? It's called G4C Learn. You know, we help. I think we've helped like over 75,000 people like learn about how games can help them learn new skills and create a career. Like the list goes on and on and on, and it really just starts with the basic idea that when you're connecting the world around you, you can create something positive, however you choose to define it.
Oh yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, it also ties into a question that you've asked on stage a few times, like how do you use your privilege and position to make a difference?
That's right.
I think looking at your career is an answer in itself to that question. But for people watching that might not have, the same level of experience or clout that you have, what's one thing that they can do using their own position, however big or small, to drive that positive change?
Be kind to the next person you see. That's it. I,
That's
I, you cannot say enough about how important it is to be kind to people.
mm-hmm.
And that can show up in the most meaningful and incredible ways. And so you're right. I every talk I give, I say, you belong. I talk about you're important. I just say, do something. So
Amen.
it's the prescription is, it doesn't, the what doesn't actually matter as long as you do something. And it could be the smallest thing. You're walking down the street, you pick up a piece of trash. It could be you go out of your way to do an introduction. It could be you dip into your own pockets to fund something if that's the capability that you have. It could be to give somebody feedback on how they communicate, or maybe there's something that nobody else has the courage to tell them about, but they really need to hear. It could be any of those things. But like, we each have power that we carry inside of us and around us, no matter who we are. You might think that you're meaningless and you don't have power. I'm here to tell you, you do. And everybody does. Everybody has a voice. Everybody has something to say. Everybody has something to offer this world in an extraordinarily powerful and amazing way. And if anybody watching this for the 1 second thinks that they don't, you're wrong. You do.
I agree.
Everybody does. And that means that you have the power to help others too.
Yep.
And the smallest act of kindness can yield powerful results.
Exactly. And that's also one of the reasons why I wanted to bring back the Black Game Pro sessions, because from my perspective, even if I dedicate 1 or 2 hours per month on having conversations with amazing people like yourself, in 12 months, that adds up to 12 hours of hopefully inspiring content that shows representation. And hopefully, even if it's one person watching that would be inspired by that, or inspired by your story and be like, oh, if Leo can do it, so can I. That's one of the reasons why we're doing this.
100%. And like, thank you for that. Like that, having that platform, having the opportunity to have this conversation, like it's incredibly meaningful to me. I think it's incredibly meaningful to everybody who has the opportunity to share something about who they are, how they perceive the world. And like, I think you're already well on your way multiple times and in many, many, many different ways, having positive impact and creating opportunities for others. So a huge thank you to you.
You're very welcome. I mean, it feels like something I have to do. I mean, stories need to be shared, platforms need to be created. And if I can leverage my network to share amazing stories like yours and others, that's the least I can do.
That's the least. That's it right there. That's the magic.
And almost final question.
Yeah.
Because we're almost out of time and I want to be respectful for the people watching. You mentioned you have 3 kids. Your oldest just started college, beginning their own journey. As you watch them step into the world, what do you hope they take from watching your career?
If you dream it, you can do it. And keep on dreaming. Never stop.
I love that. All right, final question.
Yes.
What's next for you, Leo? Where do you project yourself to be in 2030?
You know, the most real answer I can give is I don't know. I am looking around at all sorts of different opportunities. I'm learning from so many different people. I'm on a bunch of different boards. I'm looking for whatever the next thing is in my career. Who knows? I don't know. But maybe the best way to answer the question is, 1, I'm still going to be playing video games. I'm always 12. I'm perpetually 12. Video games, comic books, and movies. GG, let's go. And my son hates it when I say GG. He's like, dude, you're old. People don't say that anymore. I'm like, come on now.
It's all good. We're amongst friends here. It's fine.
There we go. Sorry to everybody who I drop GGs on LinkedIn, because it's just my thing. I just do it. It's like, GG, why not? OMG. This is crazy. So like, you know, we'll find out. I don't know what's next. All I can tell you is I would leave the audience with something that I try to say as many times as possible, which is bring people in, don't push people out. And so if I'm doing that 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now, then I'm on the right track. And so is everybody else. Bring people in. If you're trying to measure whether or not what you're doing is moving in a positive direction, ask that question. Am I bringing people in? And If the answer is I'm not, and I'm pushing people out, maybe think about it a little bit more. But like that's our opportunity in this world is to create spaces for others to be successful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think on that note, I want to thank you so much, Leo, for being the first of hopefully many inspiring people that I speak to in these Black Game Pro sessions. Your story embodies what Black Game Pro sessions is all about. It's about sharing stories that inspire, stories that have, a representation at their core. And, it inspires me. I hope it inspired the people watching. So for everybody to tune in, thank you so much for being part of this inaugural episode. I truly appreciated your engagement, comments, sharing. That's what makes this community powerful. Speaking of which, actually, because I saw there was one question in the chat, an earlier question. I'm not sure if Xavier is still here. Otherwise, he can watch it on demand. Let me see. Where was it? Where was that question again? Let me see. Yes. Did you ever feel the pressure of being the one and only Black professional in the field at the time? From what I hear, it seemed that it was never the case, and I find this admirable. That's from Xavier.
Always feel the pressure. And I'm going to give you the long answer because I think it's important. It's a great question. Mm-hmm. So for them in general, for 25 years of my career, I was always the most senior Black person in every single room I was ever in. And there's a weight to that, and there's a challenge to that, and there's a huge thing about fear there, and there's another 1,000 conversations to be had. I think that the pressure never leaves, mm-hmm. But at some moment I realized that the opportunity was just to open doors for people coming behind me. And so, Leon, through conversations like this, that's exactly what you were doing. And if I do anything, like maybe I never have a successful moment ever again. But if I've created the opportunity to open the door for somebody else to find success and go, wait a second, that is possible. And that's what the Black Game Pros is all about. If it's, wait a second, I can do that too, then we're winning. It goes back to what we were saying, right? If we can impact one person to be like, oh yeah, we can do this.
Exactly.
We can do this.
One step at a time.
That's right. That's it. We can do it.
I appreciate you, good sir. Appreciate you so much. Once again, thank you so much for joining.
You bet. My pleasure.
For everybody watching, please follow the Black Game Pro Sessions here on LinkedIn. Connect with Leo, connect with me on LinkedIn. If you have any questions, if you want to be a guest, if you want to share your story, feel free to reach out. Keep on pushing boundaries, keep lifting each other up, 100%. Keep on showing the world what Black excellence in gaming truly looks like. I'm not sure when we'll be back yet, probably 2 weeks-ish, working on the next guests. More information on it later. So once again, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Thank you, Leo. This has been Leon, and this has been the Black Game Pro Sessions.
Let's go.
Peace.
Peace.